This is a podcast about our lived experience, which unfortunately includes infant death and subsequent mental health struggles. Please take good care of yourself and only listen if this content feels safe for you right now. We'll still be here when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Judith.
And I'm Alina. We both lost babies to SIDS in winter 2021.
In the throes of grief, I reached out to a stranger on the internet and our friendship was born.
In the years since, we've been working hard to survive, rebuild, and navigate the continual challenges that have come our way, including divorce,
Job loss,
dating while bereaved,
moving multiple times,
health scares,
pregnancy and parenting a living child,
starting new jobs, and so much more.
We are tired.
Happily ever after is out of the question for us, but this podcast documents our journeys to happier ever after because we believe life after loss is worth living.
So join us as we laugh, cry until we laugh.
Welcome to As Long as I'm Living podcast.
We're so glad you're here. Okay, Alina, you are here in my living room.
I'm in your living room.
And it's been such a fun day.
It's been such a fun day. Should we talk about our day?
So we could talk about our day.
So we did a repeat of the last time you were pregnant.
Yeah, 2 years ago. We did so much. Here's what we did today.
Well, first of all, you asked me, what do you want to do today? And I said nothing. And I feel like we did nothing. And yet,
so much.
We got so much done.
So much done.
So we had an easy morning. We had a little coffee and breakfast.
Not even. We did not even have an easy morning. Fine. We had from 8 to 9 was easy, but then we went on a walk.
But I had an easy morning. Guys, hung out with your daughter for a little bit.
Okay, but then we had to go walk.
Yes, so we walked her to school. We went for a walk.
And then we came back and we have been looking into podcast editing. One of the things that came up during the break is how can we make this sustainable? And it's clear that we need some help with editing because it's starting to feel like
a chore.
We never want it to get to a chore. So we've been exploring a few different avenues for ways to relieve Alina.
Yeah.
We looked at the Mom Project, which is where you can hire a mom to, or a dad, I guess, a parent to edit your podcast. And we also looked at a service. We had a meeting about that, and then we had some paperwork to do relating to that. And then what did we do? Then we went to Home Goods.
Yeah.
I have, as you guys know, I'm having a baby and I am not involved. Alina said to me, she's like, "When are you guys doing your maternity shoot?" And I was like, I hadn't even thought about it. I hadn't even considered that.
It was quite funny because I asked that question to both Judith and her husband, and they were together and they both looked at each other like they got caught, like they were taking a test and neither of them had studied.
Yeah. We were like, what? I'm sure. Yeah. So that, and then, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. And then we went to Home Goods to figure out this nursery because I have been so out of this process that I hadn't even thought about it. And I needed someone to help me get myself in order. So Alina came and whipped me into shape.
Like a whirling dervish.
And we also were very decisive. So we did that.
But that's why you need me because I am decisive. I'm like, that pillow's ugly. That is so ugly. Absolutely not. That pillow's cute.
Done.
Let's try. Yes. Done. The rug is great. Done. The curtains are great. Done.
Everything was. So anyway, we did that. And then
we came back and I hung the curtains. We did it.
It was amazing. And then
we dragged the glider in to see how it would look in there.
We did a lot. And then we recorded a special Father's Day episode that's going to be coming out next week. And then we went to get our nails done and then we got ice cream. So It is 4:15.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting down, really sitting down. So
it's crazy to me that I'm going to be back at home tonight.
Well, that's actually not the question I want to ask you. The question I wanted to ask you is, this is your first time, your second time really spending time with me while I'm pregnant.
Yeah. And
I wanted to ask how it's been feeling for you.
I think it feels fine. I'm surprised how fine it feels.
I'm surprised too.
I think it's just, I feel like the last time we talked about this, I was feeling like it didn't feel fine.
Mm-hmm.
And we've ignored it for the most part. I think now I've kind of come to terms with the fact that it's just taking forever for me. I think in the beginning I was like, oh, but maybe I'll be pregnant by whatever time. And now I've given up on that. It's just not happening. And so it almost feels like now that I let that go, I can be more present and care less that this is happening. Or have it be less, it hurts less. And I think something that was really hard for me, almost unrelated to you, but kind of related to you, is heading into this grief retreat, not being pregnant. This year's grief retreat.
Yeah, because we spoke about last year.
Last year's grief retreat, we put some intentions out into the universe that we would both be pregnant at this year's grief retreat, and Judith will be, and I will not be because I can guarantee I won't be because I'm not doing a transfer cycle this month. So that was a hard pill to swallow when we decided not to do a transfer cycle this month was the guarantee that I won't be pregnant at the grief retreat. Like that feels really hard, much harder to me than the fact that you are pregnant. I think a lot of the pain and sadness I feel is really just about my situation. And I think I've fully disconnected it to what's going on with you at this point.
Yeah.
Because there was a while where it felt like we were supposed to be on the same path, and then we were on parallel paths, like going in different directions. And now it's just like, okay, we were never on the same path. Like I wasn't meant to get pregnant in the winter. It just didn't happen.
Yeah. I'm bummed about it.
I know.
But on the other hand, I feel like maybe I can be more present for you.
Yeah. You'll be out of the throes of it.
I'll be able to like show up for you in the way that you deserve to have your friends show up for you. And I can do I can do for you what you did for me, which is whip me into shape.
Are you going to help me with my nursery when I have a nursery?
Yes. And I'm going to give you all the stuff that's in my basement.
Yay.
So much stuff that's in the basement. So that does make me feel good about it. And the kids, I hope that they'll be close in age regardless. It doesn't matter 1 year, 2 years. It doesn't matter. Like, when our kids are 25 and 27 or 20, whatever they are.
Yeah. And they're getting married.
And they're best friends. It won't matter. Anyway, let's put that aside for a second, which is, there were a few other things that I wanted to talk about, which is where are you in your, do you consider yourself do you?
Yes. Okay. I think that's another thing I've been talking about in therapy recently is that I officially feel like I'm on an infertility journey. Okay. I'm coming up on a year since my first egg retrieval, and we're coming up on 6 months since we started trying to do transfers, which admittedly is not the strict definition of infertility. It is because you've been
trying to get pregnant for a year.
But so think about this. I have been if you look at it one way, I've been trying to get pregnant since 2018. Now, there was a year's battle to get pregnant, and then a pregnancy, and then a newborn days, and then a dead baby, and then a divorce, and then a dating, and then a marriage, and then an IVF in there. So I don't really feel like I fit in with the been trying for 6 years crowd. I also don't really feel like I fit in with the trying for 6 months crowd, because I've been trying to do an IVF transfer for 6 months, which is a very different ballgame. Yeah. But I also don't feel like I fit in with the people. I don't feel like I fit in with anybody. I don't feel like I fit in with any of the groups, but I do definitely feel like it's officially like an infertility situation because I can't even get to the point of an embryo transfer. Like there's something going on.
Which has nothing to do with your genetics.
Right.
Which has nothing to do with the gene.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing. I don't fit in with groups of people who are doing PGTM, genetic testing, because for them, the IVF is just the means to the embryos, and then they do the transfer and it works. I have even additional struggles on top of that of doing the transfer. So there's just so many layers, and they're all bad. They're all bad.
You definitely, I would say, in my opinion, which you didn't ask me, but my opinion is that there's an issue that is related to your fertility.
Yeah.
That's not genetic. I mean, like there's genetic and there's an issue related to fertility.
Right.
So both are true.
Right. It's also just so funny to me because my husband has never had
He's never
had a normal trying to get pregnant experience. Like his trying to get pregnant experience is coming in a cup for an IVF retrieval. Like that's literally like his entire experience with it. He would never tried naturally. Like I grieve that. I don't know that he grieves that, but I do. Although I also don't miss it, but I just grieve. I would have loved to have surprised him with a pregnancy. I think he would have done so well with an oopsie pregnancy. We've talked about this, him and I. Because like he overanalyzes things, and I think he would have been so happy with a trying, not trying oopsie pregnancy. Like I think he would have just been so all about it.
Not everybody gets that. That's not.
I know. Oh my God, I know. But I'm talking privilege on privilege on privilege. Yeah. But it does that part I grieve, and I don't think he cares one way or the other. He's like, yeah, this is how we're doing it. Like he doesn't have anything to compare it to. Yeah. It's not like trying to get pregnant for a year is fun in and of itself. Anyway, like I'm not like.
Well, here's my question. What do you feel comfortable sharing on the podcast as to where you are in the infertility IVF journey? What is the most recent updates you want to give?
I think the way I want to leave it for the podcast is we are trying.
Via IVF.
We are trying via IVF. We are trying to do transfers. Like, we're going to be basically trying,
We're going to keep going.
Keep going and keep trying.
Do you feel comfortable sharing the plan for this month was to take a break?
I already said that. Yeah. So this month we took a break. My expectation is that we're going to do transfers pretty much every month, maybe with a month off. We have some embryos to spare. I have a thin lining issue, and I've never gotten to the point of a transfer, so we don't know if the lining is actually a problem, but I've been evaluated for like all kinds of conditions and there's nothing going on in there. So it's just a big mystery. But we're trying, and I will share when I'm ready to share if and when I get pregnant with the podcast. But I wouldn't like hold your breath on it because it's going a lot slower than any of us expected. You in particular. I feel like I almost expected it to take forever. You were like, Alina, that's ridiculous. Like, it's going to happen in 1 month.
I keep thinking it's going to be next month. Yeah, I'm shocked that it's taking so long. And I just feel like it's just been like the waiting and the waiting and the winter period and okay, when's baseline? And then we go back and what's the lining number this week? And what's the whatever? It's been like, it just feels like the universe is making me wait so long.
Yeah, believe me, I get it.
It's like, because it's like, I want, like there's so many steps. And then you think like, this is the month. And I have such a positive, I'm always like, it's going to be this month.
Is the one.
I feel really good about this month. I say that every month. And it's just like, again, this is such bad news. I'm so sad and frustrated that we keep getting bad news, even though it's not my life. Yeah,
but I think you want it for me so bad.
I want it so bad for you. I want it so bad for you. I just know how badly you want it, and it's been such a long road. And I've been on this road since Quinn died. So it just feels like I've been on a long road too. Not in a way that's annoying, but in a way that's like, I want it for me. I want it for me because I want it for you. I want it as much as you want it. So
what's so devastatingly sad is I've come to the realization recently that I think having an alive baby actually feels farther away now than it did when Quinn first died. When Quinn first
died, you were just like, all I need to do.
Yes. When Quinn first died, I had an absolutely unhinged, delusional, 100% confidence belief that I was going to have more children.
Yes.
And now there are just so many obstacles that I don't really feel. I know I'm objectively closer. And in Alabama, I do have living children. Yes. Fuck that.
No, but you know what? I feel like we now know every way it could go wrong. It's like first.
Don't say every way because there's probably more ways.
It just feels like we've been surprised at all the ways.
I know.
It can go wrong. I've been surprised because I don't know anything about this stuff. So it's like, oh, okay, like first the embryo, you didn't get enough embryo. Just then you had to do another egg retrieval. So there's just so many different things that need to go right.
That's actually a funny story that I'll share is that we tried to do, so we've done 3 different transfer protocols. None of them worked to thicken my lining, but the most recent one was a stimulation cycle. So I was taking one of the medications that I was on for my egg retrieval at a low dose, and my body went haywire and made 25 follicles. And so we converted it to an egg retrieval, and I wound up with 14 bonus eggs.
Is crazy.
So funny. They're not all going to turn into healthy embryos, but I went in thinking this is my month. I'm going to have a thick lining. And then I wound up with just a shitload of eggs that I was carrying around. Again, I know. So yeah, I am on an infertility journey, I suppose, in my infertility era.
Infertility era. That's funny. Yeah, I guess you kind of are.
Yeah. It's shitty. I also feel like, and I don't mean this in any way, shape, or form to make people feel bad for asking about me, but people ask how I'm doing all the time. How's everything going with IVF? My friends, my family, people on the podcast and the podcast community. And I don't want to begrudge anybody asking, and I'm actually fine answering all those questions. However, it's really shitty for the answer to just be yes, still not working.
Right. Or even nothing's happening.
Yeah. Or even nothing. What's up with the IVF? Nothing. How's IVF going? Shitty. And obviously I'm so beyond grateful to have embryos. That is a step of the process that it wasn't without its bumps in the road. We did a cycle with no embryos, but I am grateful to have embryos. Obviously there's many steps to this process that have gone smoothly. up to and including the fact that I met my husband.
Yeah.
And that was easy breezy.
That was easy.
I look back on that and I'm like, how did I?
You got lucky with that. You got really lucky with that.
The universe really threw me a softball on that one.
Yeah, but it's giving you a lot of
so much shit. So anyway, I'm in my infertility era.
Infertility era, and I am entering
your postpartum era soon.
Yeah,
third trimester era.
I only have a few more months, which is crazy.
I know.
Also, so it's just So that's everything that's going on. Let's see any other updates as to what's been going on. But you know what you want to tell them about how this morning, you came downstairs with my daughter before I woke up, and I came downstairs and they were looking at the picture book of Aiden.
Yeah. So I was sitting with Judith's daughter, and I had brought her. So I talk to Judith's daughter almost every morning on FaceTime for just like 2 minutes, and she wants to see my cats. She's like really obsessed with my cats. And so I brought her as a little surprise, like 2 little stuffed animals that look like my cats, so that she can like have them here while she's talking to my cats on the phone.
She really liked it.
Yeah. And so we were playing with the cats, and then she got up and she went, "Let's read Aiden's book."
Isn't that crazy?
I in my heart, I almost feel emotional right now thinking about it, and I know it's just that she sees her family in there, and like, I know, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was so special that she's like that. She would say, "That's baby Aiden. That's baby Aiden. Baby Aiden's in the bath." And I was like, and she's like, "Graham's holding baby Aiden." Like, she looks at all the pictures and like, she recognizes him as his own unique person. Yeah. Like, he's not just any baby. He's baby Aiden.
And she doesn't want to look at her baby book.
Yes. I said, "Do you want to look at your book?" And she said, "No, baby Aiden's book."
She says, "My book is too small."
And
because baby Aiden's book, now I don't know if it's Aiden, I don't know what it is, but Aiden's book was a gift from all of my friends when he died, and they got me like a wedding album.
It's really nice.
It's big, it's huge, it's like the pictures are really big. And hers is a Snapfish album, and I would say it's average size. I don't think
it's normal size.
It's a normal sized baby book, but she's told me before. She said it's too small. So I don't know if she doesn't like looking at herself, or if she thinks the pictures are too small, or she's so uninterested in hers.
Yeah,
she only wants to look at baby Aiden. She probably asks me once a day or once every other day. Yeah. I don't know. I'm always surprised. I don't know.
So Judith came downstairs this morning to me sitting with her daughter on my lap with Miguel and Tulio, the fake stuffed cats, and reading Aiden's book.
That's what I wanted to share with the story is that if you normalize it for your family and you normalize it for your children, that's what they'll pick up. Your children will follow your lead. Yes. If you make it normal to look at the baby book of Aiden, then they will feel it's normal. Yes. If you show them pictures of a baby that's dead, they will think that's normal. If you make it fun and you make it engaging and you show all the the dog and the cat and the rainbow, and we look at the pictures of the beach and we talk about Grams and Pops and we talk about her cousins, then she picks up on that and she wants to do it.
I mean, she treated it exactly the same. We read the EIEIO farm book, and then we read Aiden's book, and she was definitely significantly more engaged in the Aiden book, but for her it was just so normal. It was like a book.
It was just a book. I feel like that's what I've learned about parenting after loss, is that you set the tone in your house, and at some point they will come up with their own philosophy of how they want to incorporate it into their life. But until that point, you get to decide how you talk about it.
Yeah.
And one day she will say, "I don't want to look at that book anymore." Or she might not, but she might. Another thing that's been, and I'll respect that. Another thing that's been coming up that's been a little bit confusing is we've been talking about the fact that she's going to have a baby brother. Mm-hmm. And then we talk about baby Aiden. Mm-hmm. And I think it's confusing to her because all of the books that talk about being a sister and having a brother and whatever, it's like, I help my baby brother do the diaper, change his diaper. I help my baby brother with his bottle. Like, that's what the book said.
Yeah.
But then we talk about
baby Aiden with a bottle. And she's like, why am I not giving baby Aiden a bottle?
So it's almost like there's baby Aiden and there's baby brother, and her role to them is different.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's funny. I remember when my mom was pregnant with my brother, I was 3. And
you remember that?
Yeah. I was 3, and I remember imagining when they said I'm going to have a brother, I imagined him being like 7. Like I imagined him older than me for some reason. And so I can imagine that for her, it's confusing because Aiden is older than her, right? Aiden's third birthday, but he's a baby forever.
My daughter has grandparents that she sees all the time, that stay with her, that feed her, that care for her. She also has grandparents that live in Los Angeles that she sees once a year and live far away and are not involved in the day-to-day of her life. But she sees them and sees pictures of them and she knows who they are.
Yeah.
They are the same relationship to her, but her interaction with them is different. So I feel like I will be doing my best parenting if I can help her understand that there are some brothers that live in your house, that we give bottles, that we help hold, and we make sure they're comfy and cozy, and mommy and daddy sing and love just like you, blah, blah, blah. And there are some brothers that live in the Aiden Park in the grass. And we look at pictures of them and we talk about dolphins. They can be the same relationship and have a different day-to-day interaction. It's complicated, but she can handle that level of with her grandparents. So I don't see why she can't handle that with her brother.
Yeah. I can't wait to see how you do it. You're going to be my blueprint.
Sure how I'm going to do it, but I think that she's mentally capable of such because she sees it in her day-to-day life, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. I would be really sad. I feel like if I don't try, I'm not giving her a chance to have a relationship with him.
Yeah.
And all I can do is try and give her a chance. If she doesn't want it, if it's not resonating, then that's fine.
Yeah.
She may not want it, but I can give it to her as a gift. And if she doesn't want it, she doesn't want it. But if I don't give it to her at all, she's not going to have it.
You're a good mom.
Thank you for saying that.
You are a good mom, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I love watching you with her because you're so funny. I feel like have we talked about this on the podcast? I think we have, that you're like a very chill mom, which I think probably would surprise people if they hear you have a dead kid. Yeah.
Every time Alina's here, she's like, she's going to fall. And I say,
and you're like, okay.
You know, like this morning, he said, she's going to fall. And I said, good. I said, good. I want resilient kids. She'll get back up.
Yeah. She's fine. Kid, you got this.
I was saying, Judith, she's going to fall. You were really worried about it. I was like, I know. Then she'll get back up.
You're going to be my muse, my inspiration for being a chiller parent.
You want to be a chill parent?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you think people want to? I don't know if people want to.
I want to.
Why?
Because I think it makes resilient, brave, confident kids.
I think it does too.
I don't want my kids to have my anxiety. I'm not even talking about my dead baby anxiety. I'm just talking about my anxiety in general. I was already anxious before he was born.
Yeah.
Before he died.
I remember when Dr. Mandel one time told me something. I remember saying to her, like, did I not do a good job? Did I not whatever? I wasn't obsessed with how much she was eating. I wasn't obsessed with every little detail. And she was like, she told me, she was like, well, parents that are obsessed with that, they create other problems. Like, it's good that you weren't like that. She was like, parents who are obsessed with that, then they have children that are perfectionists, and then they're so hard on themselves, and then they're so critical. She's like, okay, yes, your kid will probably have more bumps and bruises, and your kid will fall down, and your kid will probably be a little unhinged and all over the place, just like you. But she was like, but there's flip sides to every parenting style.
Yes.
You get some things, you don't get other things. So it's like, you get to choose what problems you give them. By the way, that's something I think about. I'll just say this and then we can end, which is that on my best days, I say to myself, like, yeah, she'll be messed up. Like she has a dead brother and, you know, she'll have problems. I'm like, oh, I did the best I could. I have, you know, like I have problems. No one gets it right. Like, and then on my worst days, I'm like, I don't want her to have any, I'm going to mess her up. We're not doing this right. Like she's going to feel, I don't know, whatever it is.
I think as she gets older, it's going to be more and more and more of the former and less of the latter.
Well, because I told you what a teacher said about like whatever she was having that issue. And I was like, oh, did I mess them? I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I have issues. Like, no, my parents.
Yeah, I have issues. We all have issues.
We all have issues. Every parent messes
up. I can't wait to see what issues our kids have because I feel like
they're going to have issues.
Our generation is parenting very differently than our parents, and our parents parented very differently than their parents. So I can't wait to see what issues millennial parents put in their kids.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. My kids are going to be proud to go to therapy.
Yes.
You know? So even though I'm going to mess them up, they're going to know the solutions to their problems. They're going to know where to go.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay.
Guys. Well, that's that. We're leaving.
We are leaving. I have to go to the bathroom and we have to go get our kid.
Bye.
Bye. To all of our wonderful new friends, we want to hear from you. Email us at aslongasimlivingpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at aslongasimlivingpodcast. We'll get back to you as soon as our grieving brains allow. Yay.